So how do you lower your covered California premium? If you haven't noticed already, covered California premiums are going up pretty dramatically in 2026. I've spoken to many people since open enrollment has started, and everybody that I've spoken to, their premiums are going up for next year. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is showing you the methods that we use to save money on covered California. Right? What we try to do is we try to get the premiums closer to what people are used to paying, in 2025 and make that applicable for 2026. So I'm going to be going over switching carriers, the pros and cons, and how to do it correctly and what to consider when you are switching carriers. Moving to a lower metal tier, the pros and cons, there is a pretty big con to that, right? Like there will be more gaps in your health insurance, but there are ways to supplement the gap and fill in that gap so that like overall you can have a good plan still, but pay less per month. Then last thing, enrolling into different groups. A lot of people don't know that this is even possible, but I'll be going into that in this video. I'm Sebastian. I talk to people about their health insurance every day, and I know methods to save money. I mean, I show it to people on a regular basis. Like all of our current clients, every call that I have, the main goal for 2026 is to save money, because if you don't know already, tax credits have been decreased and premiums are going up. So the first method is switching carriers. All right, so open enrollment, it does go from November 1st through January 31st. And the reason I bring this up right away is because if you decide to switch carriers and you end up using that new carrier in January, but you realize that, hey, my doctor's not in network, or I just don't really want to use this carrier anymore, you can switch back to the carrier that you've been used to starting February 1st. Right, but you have to make that change by January 31st. So if you think like the decision that you've made to switch carriers is like set in stone for 2026, that isn't exactly the case, because again, you have into January 31st to make your official decision for 2026. Now, the next point is pretty obvious, like bigger networks equals higher premiums. Like if you are on Blue Shield PPO, then obviously you're going to be paying more than somebody with a Kaiser HMO. And that's because Blue Shield's PPO is a much stronger network, and a lot more doctors and hospitals accept Blue Shield PPO compared to a carrier like Kaiser. So of course, you're going to be expecting higher premiums with Blue Shield PPO. And the beautiful thing about covered California, which most other states don't have this, is all of the plan benefits are standardized, which means if you have a Silver 70 plan, for example, with Blue Shield, and you want to switch to Kaiser, that Silver 70 plan with Kaiser will have the same exact benefits as the plan that you've had with Blue Shield PPO. It's really just the networks that vary on covered California. Now, of course, you're going to want to check to see if your doctors are in network. It's very simple. So let's say you're in your covered California account and you want to see if your doctors accept these insurance companies. So let's just say I see Dr. Smith, Matthew Smith, right? Oh, that's pediatrics. Let's say I see Jeremy Smith and I go to, let's just say UCI in Orange, right? So though that is my doctor and that is the hospital that I go to, right? It's very awesome. Like covered California, they give us this tool where we can see which carriers are accepted at the doctors and hospitals that you go to. So you can see right here, for example, right, UCI is in network with Molina, but my doctor, Jeremy Smith, is not in network. So again, search your doctors, make sure that they are in network. And you can ask yourself, like, if you have a doctor that you go to, but you're paying a lot of money to keep them in network, I mean, ask yourself, is it worth paying that much more per month to keep them in network? For a lot of people, they would rather pay a lower premium and just sacrifice the doctor that they're going to and maybe just go to a new doctor. Hey, you can also switch plan types. Like if you have a PPO, you could switch down to an EPO, right? Not as flexible, but it is cheaper. Same thing with going from EPO to HMO, not as flexible, but it is cheaper. I will warn you, if you are currently in treatment for something, just yesterday, I spoke to somebody who has a scheduled surgery in January. He already has all of the referrals done. He has the prior authorizations done. And if he were to switch carriers, then he would have to start that whole process over again. And he'd probably have to reschedule the surgery. So if you have pending treatment, you have like a surgery or a medical service scheduled, unless you are fine with doing that whole process again with the referrals and the prior authorizations, then I would just recommend sticking with the carrier or the plan that you have for 2026. All right, and the next method is moving to a lower metal tier. So if you have, let's say, a silver 70 plan, you can move down to a bronze 60 plan with a lower premium, and you would actually have pretty similar benefits. Right, like if we look at the copays, and I apologize, I don't have the medical services pulled up here, but you can see like the copays, doctor visit copays, specialist visit copays are pretty similar. Even the deductible is just about the same. The maximum out of pocket is literally the same. Okay. The main three flaws with a bronze plan is going to be the ER copay, right? Like the ER bill. I have it written down. So this would be ER. And then this would be imaging, and then this would be this would be prescriptions, right? So these are some flaws with the bronze plan compared to the silver plan, right? Like the silver plan, you do have copays for the ER, imaging, blood work, and tier 2, 3, and 4 prescriptions, whereas with the bronze plan, you have to meet your deductible first before you enter coinsurance. But if that isn't a big deal to you, then you can make that change. But if you are worried about that big ER deductible, what you can do is you can layer on a secondary plan, like an accident plan, a hospital plan, right? These plans can be very affordable. And the way that these work is, let's say you have a $5,000 accident benefit, $5,000 hospital benefit. If you end up in an accident or whatever happens, you fall, you break an arm, and you take an ambulance to the ER and you get a $5,000 bill, the accident plan will pay you $5,000, which you can use to completely cover your deductible. If you end up in the hospital due to a sickness, there are hospital plans out there that will cover you, like whatever, you have a gallbladder that's about to burst, you end up in the hospital with a $10,000 medical bill, right? If you have a $5,000 benefit, then the carrier will pay you out $5,000, which you can use towards your deductible. Now, these secondary plans aren't offered on Covered California, which I will explain how we can actually look at those plans, the secondary plans, at the end of this video. Okay, moving on. So if you are expecting high medical bills in 2026, the bronze plan might actually make more sense than the silver or the gold plan. And here's why. So if you have whatever, like if you're expecting a lot of medical services in 2026, or if you have like pending surgery, which you know is going to be very, very expensive, and you know that you're going to hit your maximum out of pocket, you know, the bronze maximum out of pocket is the same as the silver maximum out of pocket. And the gold maximum out of pocket is $9,200, so it's very similar. So if you're paying more per month for this plan, but at the end of the year you're going to end up paying the same maximum out of pocket, why would you pay more for a plan where at the end of the year you're going to pay exactly the same in medical bills? But of course, if you don't think you're going to hit your maximum out of pocket, staying on a silver or gold plan might be the better option. Now, another method is enrolling into different groups. A lot of people don't even realize that they can do this, but basically all you're doing is you're putting the person with higher medical needs on the plan with better benefits. You know, maybe your spouse, for example, sees the doctor regularly, they have more prescriptions that they get. You know, you can put them on the plan with better benefits and keep yourself on the plan with less benefits, with a lower premium, right? Assuming that you don't really go to the doctor, you don't really use your health insurance as much. And yes, Covered California does allow this. You're going to go to your Covered California dashboard, and there is a section, if you scroll down, that says Manage Groups. You're going to press that, and you'll be able to put different people onto different plans within the same household and within the same application. Now, if you want my personal guidance on how to save money in your situation on Covered California, or you want to look at secondary plans like I mentioned earlier, then I'd be happy to help you. You can schedule a call with me. It's the first link in the description and book your free call.